Good evening, citizens of planet Earth, and if you're not from planet Earth, good evening to you as well. Hi, I'm Deepak Chabria, and I welcome you back to Urban Nirvana, a place where we find peace in the times of chaos. Today is the 10th episode of this podcast, and I'm eternally grateful for everyone who has been a tremendous support and a primary driving factor for this podcast. So thank you for everyone involved from the bottom of my heart. Truly grateful for you. So I have a small announcement for this episode. From this episode onwards, I am doing video recordings of this podcast and I'm making them available on YouTube as well. So you can go check out the video version of this podcast on YouTube, for which the links are down below. And if you prefer to continue to listen on the audio platforms, that's good as well. As long as you're subscribed to the podcast, I'm happy. I'm glad. So this week's episode is friendship. I have a piece of writing with me which I had gifted to a friend of mine, a mentor of mine 2 years back, and I just want to read it now. I feel like reading it because I just feel like reading it. So one more thing about friendships that I would like to share is that friendship is not only friendship. Friends are not the only friends in your life. Everyone you meet, everyone you have met since your birth is your friend. Because in any kind of relationship, friendship is the underlying foundation. Be it your parents, your siblings, your nephews, your cousins, or your aunts, uncles, your partners, your loved ones, your special someones. And did I miss out anyone? So anyone, your kids, your parents, and anyone and everyone involved is a friend of yours. So and this gift which I had written for a friend of mine, for a mentor of mine 2 years back, I just want to dedicate this to her and all my old friends and new, because I just feel like it. So here goes. I'm just going to read it out and then maybe we can talk about it later. We often take friendship for granted. When they need us the most, we leave them unattended. Isolated they become when we leave them, leaving them alone when there's no one to heal them. Mistakes we make, we become selfish. Sometimes we don't even share with them a shellfish. But friends are such who forgive you. They don't mind if you forget them because they know that they will always remember you. They do the silent sacrifices which you'll never realize. They give you gifts which open your eyes. They do a lot of stuff which you never notice. For your sheer joy is the ultimate motive. There is no such bond in the galaxy, for friends are a part of your family. It is time that you start giving them the time that they need, because a friend who comes through is a friend indeed. Don't be stupid like Brutus was. Stand by your friend in every cause. Try to be a better friend than your friend is to you. Even if you can't, at least say them thank you. So, as I said in the beginning of this episode, I'm just truly grateful for all the people, and I'm truly grateful for all the people who have entered my life as well, because without them I wouldn't be the person that I am today. So thank you everyone who is a part of my life, and you're all a part of my family. So And thank you again for the person I dedicated this to, and everyone else, all my old friends and new. Uh, just thank you from the bottom of my heart. So, in this poem, we had spoken about taking friendship for granted, leaving them when they need us the most, and when they need to be healed. So, here's the thing. So, sometimes what happens is that if we go off path, not realizing that we are leaving things behind, and sometimes people in our lives go off path, not realizing that we also need them. So it works either way, and whichever way it works is that if you're the one who's off path, and when you realize that you're off the path, just go back to your friend and have a heart to heart with them, because when you realize that you have made mistakes, it is always best to go approach them and talk it out, rather than thinking that you will never get forgiveness and stuff. It's always best to talk it out and heal the bond, because uh, it is always worth the effort. Just don't be scared and just talk to them and have a heart to heart. And if your friend is the one going off path, then do what you want. Punch them on the nose or slap them on the face, or not telling you to assault them or something, but one slight call of awakening would bring them back to reality, and they would realize their mistakes and they would come back to you, and you guys can have a heart to heart and bond again. So that's what happens. And if you feel that your friend has gone in the zone, and if there's no way to bring them back, not in not talking in the sense of going in a total dark side, but maybe that as well, not sure. But when people do stupid things and they are not open to the idea of listening to you, I think it is best to let them do what they are doing until they realize themselves and come back to you, because one day they will realize, and when they're comfortable they will come back to you. So give them the space, and this is what I did a couple of years back with one of my friends. I think 3-4 years back, my friend was in too deep with something, and all of us were telling us not to pursue it and drop it off. And when I saw that she was not going to listen, and I was 90% sure that it wouldn't work out, I encouraged her and I told her to see it through and fast, because that is one way she would learn, and it would remain in her experience for a long time. And she did that. She went through, and it did not work out, and she came back and said that it did not work out, and she's grateful for that experience, that she did that, because it helped her grow as a person. And sometimes you need to go through certain experiences alone, and I think that's okay. So as a friend, the best you can do sometimes is just let them do their mistakes and learn for themselves, and help them develop their character. As my computer teacher once said, that I think in Japan, what they do is that when the kids play with fire, they let them play with fire, because then they would learn that it burns and they would not go near it. So that is one way of looking at it, and just have a heart to heart. And coming down to the next stanzas, sometimes we become selfish and we don't share with them a shellfish. So this shellfish joke was from a favorite series of mine, which is How I Met Your Mother, and it was inspired from an incident which I had done And I did not realize, because I did not realize until then that friends do this as well. So um, coming to the next one. Yeah, so yeah, but the moment you realize that you're selfish, try sharing next time. So that's the takeaway from that. And friends are such who forgive you. So here's the thing: people who matter in your life, people who value you, will eventually try and find a way to forgive you. So seek forgiveness from the bottom of your heart for anything that you may have done, even if that means that you would have jeopardized your life or career or anything that is major. That is a major red flag. I just want you to seek forgiveness for that. And if you're not the one who needs to seek forgiveness, just forgive the person and let go of the grudge that you're holding on. Because I've seen in my life people have lost their friends over petty issues and over big issues as well. So life is too short to hold on to these grudges and resentment and hate and anger. It only holds you down, it only weighs you down, you know. Once you forgive them, once you let the things go and put your ego down, I think there's no beautiful bond than the friendship in itself. So forgive them, let things go, and try to rebond with them is the takeaway from this stanza. And coming back to the first stanza, I just wanted to add on that have a heart to heart with your friends and share with them, because once you share things with them, you will feel lightweight, you know. So once you share stuff, they will understand a better side of you, and your bond will even become more strong. Your bond would become stronger than before, and that's how you get to know each other, and that's how you become family, you know. That's the thing. Sharing opens up to a lot of stronger bonds. So coming to the next point, they make silent sacrifices that you do not notice. They give you gifts which will open your eyes, and they do a lot of stuff without your notice. For your sheer joy is the ultimate motive. So your joy, your smile, your happiness is what your friends need, you know. When I say friends, I mean any kind of relationship in your life, you know. Maybe your parents, your sibling, your cousins, or even your partners and your loved ones and your pets or nephews or anyone, you know. They do sacrifices which we will never realize, or which we may realize, or which we may never realize. But one thing is that everything they do intentionally would be for your benefit, for your joy. And if they do something unintentionally, try and forgive them. So intentionally they do a lot of things which and they do it silently, which they will never reveal to you. For your They would do it for your joy, you know. I've seen myself that even in families, they have people do silent sacrifices, and they do not let people know that they are doing stuff for them. So these are the kind of friends, you know. These are the kind of things that even my friends have done, which I'm grateful for, you know. I'm eternally grateful for a lot of things in my life. So friends are a part of your family. There's no such bond in your galaxy. And come through for your friend because they need you. Even if you're not talking to them, even if you are in a fight, or if you have a grudge, they need you. They are alone. When they're alone, they're going through a lot of things. When they seem off, it is when they need you the most. So uh, come through for them and be there for them, because your friends need you. They would not admit 99% of the time, but 100% of the time they need you. So just go and go through for them, like come through for them, and be their friend. The person who comes through, when a friend comes through, is a friend indeed. So, and don't be like Brutus. Try not to kill someone literally. When you realize your mistake, just have a heart to heart and you know build a stronger bond. Stand by them for every cause, and try to be a better friend than your friend is to you, because that would be the most rewarding experience you would have in your life. One of the most rewarding experiences in your life. So even if you can't be a better friend, at least be grateful for them and say thank you. So this comes to the conclusion. This brings us to the conclusion of the episode. And food for thought would be when they are off, or when you are off, have a heart to heart, share with your friends. Don't be selfish. Maybe give them their space, and when you realize your mistakes, come back and have a heart to heart. Seek forgiveness from the people you care about. Notice the silent sacrifices they make and come through for them. You may not realize, but they do need you, and give them a call, tell them thank you, and maybe do some silent sacrifices for them. And there's no such bond. Yes, they are your family. Friends are a family. That is one takeaway. And the final food for thought: try to be a better friend than your friend is to you. And most importantly, this action I want you all to take. Just whoever you think your true friends are, just drop them a thank you note. Just text them thank you, because that thank you would mean a lot to them when it comes as a surprise. So pick up those phones and just say thank you to your friends and to your family, whoever you feel that you are the most grateful for. The select few people, or a couple of people, it may be any number of people. Just go out there and tell them thank you, and bring a smile on their faces. So that's all for today, and thank you, Sensei, for being there and helping me whenever I needed you. So this one is dedicated to my mentor as well, and all my old friends and new. So have a happy rest of the week. Until then, I'll see you guys. And before I let you go, do let me know how this episode was. I know it must have been a little very different, because after 2 years I'm coming back on camera and I'm using the same audio. So the audio may also be a little or pretty much more different, in fact. So I'll try to be better and better with every episode, because I want to put out great content out there. So which creates an impact in your lives. And that's all. And do sign up for the newsletters in the Google form below and leave in your suggestions. And do feel free to join the Telegram community, where I will be posting updates once we have a good number of people in our community. So that's it for today's episode. I will see you again in the next episode next week. Until then, thank you and ciao. I'll see you soon. Ta-da.